What's wrong with the controllers? This all our controllers. If your conscience haunting you, it's you I am talking to. I spend restless days and sleepless nights in many ways to make so right. Now they play games, heavy days to protect my honor. I'm gonna fight like a tiger. Tension in my body, tension in my soul, tension in my belly. My blood running cold. Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? Me say, is the tension? The tension keep rising, reaching for my head. If it don't stop rising, I will soon be dead. Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? This soca controllers, making and breaking stars. They want to conquer me, to control my energy. But they know damn well I am hot like hell. I need to play my tune, I hit from June to June. So they play fast, trying to change my past. But I know the time with my melody big size. Tension in my body, tension in my soul, tension in my belly. My blood running cold. It's the tension. It's the tension. It's the tension. It's the tension. The tension keep rising, reaching for my brain. If it don't stop rising, somebody in pain. It's the tension. It's the tension. It's the tension. It's the tension. I could remember when my one and only friend watched us a box guitar. I come from quite so far. I know how to rest. I've been getting and they're haunting me, and it's making me angry. Tension in my body, tension in my soul, tension in my belly. My blood running cold. Is the tension?
Lennox Smith, The Ground Report on the Corridor Transformation, 13th. Sept 2024, Truth. Chinese couple robbed of $54,000 in Aranguez home invasion. Gregory MC Bernie 2 days ago. Police at a crime scene. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. Police at a crime scene. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. 2 Chinese citizens, a man and a woman, were held hostage during a home invasion in Aranguez on September 10. The victims, who own a Chinese restaurant on the Aranguez main road, were entering their home around 9 p.m. Chinese couple robbed of $54,000 in Aranguez home invasion. Gregory MC Bernie 2 days ago. Police at a crime scene. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. Police at a crime scene. File photo by Jeff K. Mayers. 2 Chinese citizens, a man and a woman, were held hostage during a home invasion in Aranguez on September 10. The victims, who own a Chinese restaurant on the Aranguez main road, were entering their home around 9 p.m. when 3 men accosted them. One was armed with a cutlass. The men forced the couple into the house and demanded money from them. The bandits stole $4,000 cash and a Samsung S23 Ultra phone worth $7,000 from the man. They then stole a Huawei iPhone valued at $3,000 from the woman. They then tied the couple's hands with tie straps and ransacked the house. While searching, they found $30,000 cash in one room and $20,000 cash in a wardrobe in a bedroom. The suspects then took the keys to the victim's Toyota Aqua and stole it to escape. Police obtained CCTV footage which they believe will assist in their investigation. "15 charges for state-owned oil company, LMCS in diving tragedy." Jada Laudoo yesterday. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The Occupational Safety and Health Authority and Agency, OSHA, has been accused of a double-barreled attack on the Peria Fuel Trading Company and 2 of its senior employees in its prosecution arising out of the 2022 diving tragedy. Peria's lead attorney 15 charges for state-owned oil company, LMCS in diving tragedy. Jada Laudoo yesterday. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The Occupational Safety and Health Authority and Agency, OSHA, has been accused of a double-barreled attack on the Peria Fuel Trading Company and 2 of its senior employees in its prosecution arising out of the 2022 diving tragedy. Peria's lead attorney Gilbert Peterson, South Carolina, made the accusation after his clients, Peria's general manager Mushtaq Mohammed, terminal operations manager Colin Piper and the company itself pleaded not guilty to 9 of 15 charges against them. Magistrate Alicia Shanker read out the 15 charges to Peria's Mohammed and Piper and Land and Marine and Construction Services, LMCS, Director Kazim Ali SNR on September 11. On February 25, 2022, Ali Jnr and 4 other LMCS divers, Rishi Nagasar, Faisal Kurban, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Budram, were repairing a 30-inch pipeline at Peria's Point A Pierre facility when they were sucked into it. Only Budram managed to get out alive. LMCS was contracted by Peria to repair the pipeline. Colin Pipe, 15 charges for state-owned oil company, LMCS in diving tragedy. Jada Laudoo yesterday. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A Pierre facility in February 2022. From left, Kazim Ali Jnr, Yusuf Henry, Rishi Nagasar and Faisal Kurban. The Occupational Safety and Health Authority and Agency, OSHA, has been accused of a double-barreled attack on the Peria Fuel Trading Company and 2 of its senior employees in its prosecution arising out of the 2022 diving tragedy. Peria's lead attorney Gilbert Peterson, South Carolina, made the accusation after his clients, Peria's general manager Mushtaq Mohammed, terminal operations manager Colin Piper and the company itself pleaded not guilty to 9 of 15 charges against them. Magistrate Alicia Shanker read out the 15 charges to Peria's Mohammed and Piper and Land and Marine and Construction Services, LMCS, Director Kazim Ali SNR on September 11. On February 25, 2022,
good morning
Ali
to you.
JNR and 4 other LMCS divers, Rishi Nagasar, Faisal Kurban, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Budram, were repairing a 30-inch pipeline at Peria's Point A pier facility when they were sucked into it. Only Budram managed to get out alive. LMCS was contracted by Peria to repair the pipeline. Colin Piper, Terminal Operations Manager at Peria Fuel Trading Company. Mohammed faces 4 charges which alleged as a manager of Peria, between June 2, 2021, and February 28, 2022, he facilitated by neglect the commission of a breach of the OSH Act, failed to prepare an emergency plan based on a risk assessment, and failed to ensure workers not in Peria's employ, including the 4 divers who died in an incident at its Point A pier facility and the lone survivor, were not exposed to a risk to their safety. He pleaded not guilty. He also pleaded not guilty to the 4 charges against Peria on behalf of the company as its general manager. The state-owned fuel trading company is alleged to have failed to ensure the 5 divers were not exposed to a risk to their safety, failed to implement an emergency plan based on a risk assessment, failed to revise, in consultation with worker representatives, an emergency plan, and failed in its duty to make an annual assessment of the risks to the safety and health of those not in its employment. Piper faced a single charge alleging a failure to ensure those not in Peria's employ were not exposed to the risks to health and safety. He, too, pleaded not guilty. Ali, whose son Kazim died in the diving incident, faced 3 charges that alleged as director of LMCS, he neglected to ensure the safety, health, and welfare of all employees, including the 5 divers, failed to make suitable annual risk assessments, and neglected to provide training, instructions, and supervision to ensure the safety and health of his employees, including the 5. LMCS's charges allege the company failed to make a risk assessment, ensure the safety of its employees, including the 5, and failed to provide them with proper training and supervision. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges laid by Chief Inspector Franz Bisbane. The 3 first appeared before Shanker in July, but the charges were not read then. At the virtual hearing on September 11, Peterson complained of the double-barreled attack, since similar complaints have been leveled against Peria, LMCS, and its principals in the industrial court. Mushtaq Mohammed, general manager at Peria Fuel Trading Company. His statements came after asking the magistrate to await the outcome of a Privy Council decision involving a case against OSHA involving the time limit by which the agency can bring proceedings for alleged breaches of the OSH Act. The Court of Appeal looked at the wording of the OSH Act. It ultimately ruled that the 6-month limitation period applied to both safety and health offenses and summary offenses established under the Act, while the 2-year limitation period applied to civil claims. Peterson said, "I cannot think of a greater abuse of process than this." He said the OSHA did not have to wait for the outcome of the Commission of Inquiry into the diving tragedy to bring charges, and the ruling in the Apex Court would have an impact on the case. The limitation period is very alive. However, Senior Counsel Pamela Elder, who leads a team of attorneys for OSHA, said the Privy Council case had no bearing on the matter in the Magistrates' Court. She explained the rationale for filing complaints in the separate courts, saying OSHA was looking for punishment in the criminal courts and compensation in the industrial court for alleged breaches of the Act. The charges against Peria and its executives were joined, and the same was done for LMCS. However, neither party agreed to have all 15 complaints joined until OSHA provides them with a summary and information to support the charges. Kazim Ali SNR, Director at Land and Marine and Construction Services, LMCS. Elder agreed to provide disclosure after both Peterson and Dinesh Rambali, who represents LMCS and Ali, complained they could not agree to the joinder until they see the particulars of the allegations against them. LMCS is seeking justice as well. Justice is due process. If you want justice, what could be wrong in sharing the information? Rambali said. Rambali also raised the issue of discovery so his clients could launch an argument under Section 89 of the OSH Act, which would allow it to blame another 15 charges for state-owned oil company, LMCS in diving tragedy. Jada Laudoo yesterday. The 4 divers who died in an accident at Peria Fuel Trading Company Ltd's Point A pier facility in February 2022.
Hey Danny, good morning.
Kazim Ali JNR,
Hey
Yusuf
Kishan
Henry,
Ali, a
Rishi
pleasant good
Nagasar
morning
and
to
Faisal
you, my
Kurban.
brother.
The 4 divers.
What? Really a serious man, boy. Raul Prasad, good morning.
What's that, sir?
Krishan Reyes, good morning to you. Ginger Mirage, good morning. Balroop, when they come back here, we're going with our dog. I tell you already today, everybody looking for a dog. I point up dog, they are looking for Rowley. I really want your dog, Balroop. Brian, good morning. Freddie, a pleasant good morning to you, Freddie. Roger, good morning. My blood running cold. Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? Trenita, good morning to you. The tension keep rising. Joycelyn, good morning. If it don't stop rising, I'm going to cry. Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? Is the tension? Yes, Deborah. You're laughing. That was she right. Ha ha. I laughing. Well, what? Let me know what Deborah said there, boy. Oh, God. When I go get the glasses just now, that somebody promised me that, like, when they get it to change now. They will help me towards it. Yeah, Deborah, yeah. Ha ha. Well, yes, I laughing. The teacher calling roll. The pitbull calling roll.
The ground report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, LENNOX.
Teacher pitbull. And if you only not get in line early, it's bite. What? It's real bite. I'm watching every day, notice you coming out here early. Never call you people, man. Never call you roll call. Wait, what's wrong with that brain true boy? Yes, Sheena. Ha ha, well, yes. I can imagine how she might be getting. Ha ha, well, yes. I laughing. The teacher calling roll. Yeah, Deborah. You like Bacchanal? The teacher calling roll, yes? Yeah. I want to know who up and early and running with me, you know. And who started share early, you know. I want to know, boy, Deborah. Manifesto police, you come on late. Manifesto police saying we still inviting the CIA into Trinidad. Right, who I miss? I miss somebody, right? Chunky, good morning. Hey, Dave Harrigan. That name song for me then. Dave Harrigan. Which radio station you ready to pay for we with? That name is very powerful. Dave Harrigan, just let me know one time. How much in that Bollywood money? Something wrong, man. You let me know. Yes, money ends. Good morning to you. Chachanja Ramit. You know, this is Chachanja Ramit. That and all day bunch of Chachanja to organize 3 stations. Roseman, good morning to you. Tension in the soul. Tension in my body. Because Rowley there. We have to easy tension. We gotta get rid of him. If we don't easy tension, we go end up mad. The tension keep rising. Higher. Oh God, if it don't stop. I die too much tension on it. This morning, in the morning time, they defrost that tension. Tension. Is the tension. Is the tension. Is the tension. Man, I go just say FDDS. FDD, good morning to you. Yolanda Cordner, you're out late. Arima, you don't talk to me again or nothing, man. I still love you. I just continue to look at your contributions. Yeah. I like how you're staying to yourself, you ain't telling nobody nothing, and you're making your contribution. Making and breaking stars. That's how we are to do it, man. That's how we are to do it. All of we enemies, one enemy. None of we enemy in each other here. All of we enemy is the PNM. The PNM. The PNM. The PNM. And we are going to do what? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. You see how the song coming perfect? What the song say? What the song say? What the song say? What the song say? We have tension and we have to ease it up. We have to ease it. Work hard together. Nigel Black, good morning. Sharon, good morning. I'm wrong. You always out there, you know, girl. Oh, God, girl. Dennis, good morning to you. Oh, I go forget Dennis' beautiful daughter, Journey. Journey, we need some of your blessings, girl. I feel if you come channel with your father, your blessings go organize and melt down Rowley. Yeah. Rowley might catch a stroke in the tongue. Yeah. Who else? Who I forget? What's wrong with the controllers? Oh God, Peggy, I know it's Peggy, but I just wanted to say Peggy. Oh God, girl, Peggy. All right, Peggy. Well, all right, Miss Paris. I ain't gonna say Peggy. I will just say Miss Paris, right? All right, Miss Paris. Marilyn, sit around. You're late. I think I don't see Matilda Rhodes. You are wrong. Admiral, you're wrong. What about Miss Santa Cruz? Like them PNM and them like the shakedown she plays so. Like they cut all the current to the water. They want to be dig up in front she house. Oh, where Miss Santa Cruz? Oh, forget Macano. Macano, good morning to you, my brother Macano. Good morning to you. Hey, Malcolm X, I had a contact Malcolm X and Macano this morning. Long time we hear from them. Jamal, good morning to you. I did try to contact Mr. Portis, Mr. Tonopuna, but he ain't answering at all. I know if he vexed because, you know, they used to be calling about all the man thing. But the man ain't answering at all. I know if he told him, but if anyone of you all out there just communicate with him, just tell him we on the ground report say a pleasant good morning and hi. Well, boy, we go begin Stefan a little trouble till Stefan will start 6. We will be on TV too from 7, but Gael he on thing, and then we will get the digital on the Gael that we're looking for there, which will be a more higher viewership. Have people all over the Caribbean and this and that just be listening and all them things. And not only that, there is a local station, a local television station, and our current and our what I'll say, our influence, or besides influence, our listenership. We're trying to put that, boy. Meaning we bring something to the table, man. Like how with the other radio station, the radio station that we was on, since we not around there, the listenership gone. Plenty people stop listening. I hear now that we turn into only reggae, only reggae alone, no more calypso, no more this, no more that, strictly reggae from the new month. You know? I hear it look like it might be new management, you know, like they're closing down. I don't know. But we bought a lot I want a Lennox Smith Day, or what you will call it by. Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you. When you have a high viewership and we bring some Lennox, good morning to you. You know, being about that computer, they're doing other work, you know. They ground report work this morning, you know.
Good morning to you as well, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yeah, but you hear me struggling there. They were you and Mikey. All this come in. What is it? Like you want to.
Well, market share is the word that would have come to my mind at the term. Yes,
Go ahead.
Yes, of course, and listenership we have brought, of course, some value added to where we are, as we are doing now. And life is what is constant in life is really change, and therefore we have to adapt and adjust. Yes, we have gained new friends. We have lost some. Up to yesterday, one of the listeners called me. They just returned from the United States, and they, as usual, they would want to listen to the ground report on a morning, and he didn't have access, so he called directly to find out what is the matter. Well, I had to explain to him what is the circumstance, and what he has decided to do is to adjust and adapt. So he referred to his phone, and I'm sure that he's looking at us and listening to us at this point in time. So that is just a microcosm of some of the challenges as a consequence of the change. As I said, life is about constant change, and we have to, as individuals, as institutions, adapt and adjust. Remember, at one time, we didn't have social media at all, and I suppose that is, for some, is the bane, is a disadvantage. The PNM clearly has seen social media as a disadvantage, in that there are people like us who they would love to, of course, silence. They recognize that that is an impossibility. And what has been happening with the presence of the ground report and other platforms, whether it be the corridor transformation, whether it be the observers and other platforms, what we are doing really is deepening the democratization of Trinidad and Tobago, and therefore people with dictatorial and autocratic and other tendencies to try to undermine the principles of democracy, and that is, of course, government by the people, of the people, and for the people. And it requires, therefore, transparency, accountability, so that the citizens can, of course, determine whether or not the performance of that group, that small group that would have been charged with the responsibility for managing our affairs, whether they are doing good or not. Well, the consensus, should I say consensus? No, that sounds as a majority. I would say it is unanimous, meaning that everybody clearly, including, of course, those sycophants, in their quiet moments, I want to condition what I'm saying about them, would conclude that Rowley and, of course, his gang of miscreants clearly are exactly that, and therefore ought not to be in government. And probably I just as us, I'm sure many of them are saying, why haven't Rowley called elections as yet, having regard to all of his previous statements, including on crime, the inability of a government to treat with those matters. Then they are part of the problem and should make their exit. Well, hypocrisy will determine the opposite, which, of course, is what is the case at this point in time. All of them are now making all kinds of excuses to stay in government. The most recent is, and it is in today's news, so I'm not very far from the issue or this segment of the program. D.L. Singh has said and criticized, of course, Kamala Prasad Bisesa for saying that the vaccines, and of course, the vaccines were ineffective, and also that she has cast aspersion on the professionalism of the clinicians or the medical professionals that did human service, etc. No one is questioning that, Dialsing. And of course, I noticed that he did not, of course, address extensively the whole question of the amount of deaths. I think he did give a figure. I think 4,044 deaths, and then he said that, of course, some 86% thereabout were persons who were not vaccinated. I think he took pleasure in doing that, but of course the reality is that means that the difference were persons who were in fact vaccinated, and that was the issue at the time, whether or not people must take the chance and vaccinate. He has not, of course, mentioned that because he is eclectic, and then his asinine initial statements when, of course, the opposition, yes, led by the same Kamla Prasad Bisesa, he wouldn't mention that, but we have a duty to do because we have social media, something that is their bane, as I said, they don't like that. But the fact is that it was Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the UNC that tried one, two, three times to, of course, bring this issue of COVID to the international and local attention that it is upon us. Whilst he, D.L. Singh, was saying, let me repeat, people, he, D.L. Singh, was telling us, no, God is a Trini. The likelihood that COVID will reach Trinidad is almost impossible. And then, of course, he went on to tell us, do not wear masks, because if you consume or you buy up all the masks and so on, the clinicians and those persons who to administer health services will not have it. So therefore, please don't. And eventually, what we saw ultimately was that regulations after regulations to force us to, of course, wear masks and not assemble, and all of that went on. And he doesn't understand that he has no moral or ethical or any right to castigate, and his pontification clearly has fallen on not just deaf ears, I'm sure, because people are listening, but I'm trying to use an oxymoron here, but not only on deaf ears, but waste of time. What you should be talking about is getting you and your misfits to get the hell out of office and get out of our faces, instead of trying to score cheap political points in the face of the fact that we have all of the evidence to show to the contrary. Get the hell out of office. So you started by asking the share of the market, and of course our expansion into television, all of which are designed to not just make new friends and develop a greater market share, but to get the information to the people as we are doing now, and those who are still reliant on radio, I suspect that they are either making preparations, and the very few of them now, I'm sure that number is dwindling, but we are making beautiful strides in terms of new audience, new contributions, as we have seen. And notice I remain very silent at certain segment of the program because I am so fascinated with the high quality of the contributions of the callers and those who are, taking the time to send to us voicemails. I am very, 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 very elated, and it's a wonderful time for Trinidad and Tobago. And clearly, we are in a good place, and what we say has meaning, and what we do also is critical to the outcome of the next general elections, to ensure that the PNM, in my view, never again find itself in the position that it is today, because it's simply toxic and has weaponized government against the people. I don't know if you want me to run through some of the topics. I know that on a Friday.
Because while I just trying to put it out there,
right,
out there, because we have a lot of new people and people waiting for that link.
All right. Well, we have two major developments as far as the courts are concerned. We have
some of the headlines, and then they will dig into the major.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing. These are headlines. Yeah. Two. No, I I've lost count on that. I think I've lost count. So it means that I have resolved that it is about the PNM getting the hell out of office as a consequence of that. The hypocrisy of Dr. Rowley. I
agree.
So I've lost count, because he said that when a government has lost its marbles or its control of the crime situation, they are part of the problem and must get the hell out. You hear obfuscation by Hines being asked a direct question for the first time in the last 9 years by, of course, the traditional journalists, which is a good sign, asking him directly, well, what Dr. Rowley said then, should he now take his own advice? and he went London and went Mars and went Spain and come back and never answer the question. But that is the level of morons that we have purporting to be ministers in this country. But yet, two major developments in the courts: 15 charges for, of course, state-owned state-owned pariah officials. Yes, 15 charges, and of course that private company where those drowned divers were employed also is before the court. And then of course we have a situation where not only in the magistrate court but also in the industrial court as well, and there is some toing and froing and some argument, particularly by pariah's lawyers, that there shouldn't be such a double jeopardy for the company. But of course, that matter is ventilating as we speak. I'm just bringing it to the attention of the population. And the other one, of course, is live sports. Live sports is also being tested in the court or being scrutinized in the courts as well. And so these are two issues that we would want to see. As respect to live sports, frankly, I don't see the sense. The man at the helm, who you really want to the $34 million, has died. So I know that all it has really is political. So Rowley and they would believe political benefits. They're hoping that such negatives come out of the court so that they can, of course, go on the political hustings and, of course, ramage. But that and a pink donkey, I'm sure that they will not see because, of course, they will try to sort of castigate. Yes, that's the point I was going to make. Yes, that is to, of course, malign and to focus on Anil Roberts.
That would demand to beat Dial Singh now.
yeah. So I have, but trying to get at the same time my list of headlines that I just had, and I'm not seeing it now before me, and I wondering why. All right, but let me go directly to the newspaper then. Yes. So these are some of the things that has been happening. Of course, Gonzalez, the Prime Minister, it has impact on us here, so I want to say that as well. It's part of the headlines in the Newsday. Gonzalez is asking for information about that plane, Maduro plane, that was seized by the Americans in the Dominican Republic. Well, guess what? It turns out, because the information is that the plane was bought in the United States by a paper company, only on paper, a front company, and then it landed in St. Vincent on its way to Venezuela. You understand why Gonzalez is a bit anxious to find out, and he's sounding like Rowley a bit there, claiming that he wanted to know. Yeah, Ralph Gonzalez, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent. Yes. And so he wants to know, well, any plane could pass. He's talking more like Rowley. Any plane could pass through St. Vincent, and that, of course, the authorities, the aviation authorities, will be are the ones to treat with those matters. Something similar to, of course, the pariah fuel scenario. You notice that? Similar pattern. So we know clearly that one has to conclude that he knew about it, but of course attempting now to try to distance himself from culpability because he knows about sanctions and what that has done to Venezuela and elsewhere. And of course a very tiny island, I should say, with just over 100,000 persons is the population there. And he knows the repercussions of that, so he has come out in front and talking in the way that he is. What again, people? We have another one. Best cops for jobs. DCP union support latest police promotions. All right, so there's a controversy, as you know, brewing there, but. There's a latest list that seem to have been given the approval, the approbation of the police welfare Association. We also have a very frustrating situation. I feel frustrated myself with respect to the Mount Hope Secondary School. If you see the pictures, boy, it make your belly boil and your heart, just drop out simply because of how the place is looking. And of course, one of the parents says, in no uncertain terms, is poor people, children going there, so there is no focus. Of course, when the minister was contacted, she said, well, yeah, we just tied up a contractual arrangement to get a contractor to go there. But of course, for omitting to tell us that there was a huge refurbishment and possibly towards a new school under the UNC that was left in fallow, one, and two, that the length of time that school was in that condition. How come only now you're talking about you have contracted a contractor, or you have identified a contractor for, of course, the refurbishing or the improvement of that physical plant, educational plant? Well, we wait and see. They shall not escape. Opinions, of course, counting what? Courting misinformation. Well, I think this is reference. I've seen a picture of Kamala Prasad Bisesa, but of course we have a duty to say it as it is. That while of course she might have not give what people would have liked to hear, and that is to say the efficaciousness of the vaccine. I think she gave the impression that the vaccines were not as effective as one would have liked. That's how I got it. But of course, they are saying, and it appears that this opinion column is suggesting that it was misinformation and disinformation. What is not, however, all of them are confirming that close to 5,000 lives were lost, and that is not to be questioned. But of course, they will try to poke, should I say, deficiencies in the argument uttered by Kamala Prasad Bisesa. But we know she's a genuine person. We know that every single thing she has told us about this administration has either come to pass, is yet to pass, but there are signs of that reality. So I will not be too perturbed in this election period, and having regard to the bottomless pit of the propaganda machinery of the Rowley administration. So that is something that we would be looking at, and you will see them, as you rightly said. Alan Roberts will be, of course, be a target. That is why, of course, this court matter is going. The government ought to withdraw this matter rather than, of course, pursue this charade that can only mean more monies in the pockets of their selected lawyers, and of course more detriment to Trinidad and Tobago, and of course our young people not getting opportunities by the saved resources that could have been better pursued or deployed for employment opportunities and for their education and for school grants and all the other necessary things to make sure that Trinidad and Tobago at least comes back to some kind of semblance, potentially another one. Yeah, procurement regulator, $5 billion in contract awards, not fully competitive. Let me repeat.
Well, let me get it.
Procurement regulator. Yes. You know, they get a new guy, but it appears that he's not mixing matters, just as the Auditor General. Procurement regulator is saying $5 billion in contract awards not fully competitive. So in other words, they were selective. And of course, we know what that means. It means that P&M contractors, P&M associated individuals got those contracts. That is all what that means, people. Just in case you're playing, you don't know. You want to comment on it, or should I go on? Because WASA, Regulated Industries Commission.
$5 billion uncompetitive, meaning no tender, nothing, sole pick. Hey, we gained this one, we gained that one. That is how that is going. Give me a quick explanation.
And of course, and as if not fully competitive. So it means, therefore, there might have been some advertisement asking for expressions of interest. But we know that that is just a procedural, should I say, superficiality. Yes, a procedural superficiality. It's just to say that they did it as an excuse. But the people who ended up getting the contracts are a person connected to the PNM. You see, but of course they have the argument that, listen, we did of course do all the procedural things, and it so happens that this individual who happened to be connected or have a connection to the PNM happened to get the contract. I mean, we've been there, we know that, and that is nothing new. But their dishonesty and their incompetence continues, of course, to wane, even in the area of corruption, because that is corruption, nepotism, and cronyism. WASA Regulated Industries Commission decides utility rates. So I suppose Gonzalez might have asked that, or somebody's commenting. I see Mariano Brown is here. Let me just read that one. WASA Regulated Industry Commission decides utility rates. So let's see what it is saying. The Water and Sewage Authority has replied, all right, to former minister.
Wait. Before you read that, wait.
Go ahead.
They're contemplating on raising the rates for water.
Well, obviously, Andy,
everybody calling, no water, we want water, please, leaks, no water, rainy season, the reservoir low, rain falling out, tongue flooding, all over Trinidad, we go have more water than them dam and them etade in less than 30 minutes. Rain just had a drizzle. And it's all kind of dam all over Trinidad and Tobago. And them really in their mad, stupid mind, really studying to think about raising water rates when people paying the bills and still can't get water.
But
them got this kid.
But there are two antecedents that we must take note of. Every time Gonzalez tells us, depending on the audience, of course, we have water for all, and we are doing better than the UNC, and so on and so forth. The next day, we have some kind of bulletin saying that there's a water shortage somewhere, or they are going to, of course, cut off water to do some repairs and so on. Well, in this case, similar to a statement made by the current Minister of Works, are talking about, of course, what's his name? He is so insignificant that as the election is coming closer, are dismissing, in my memory, Rohan Sinanan, yes. Well, Rohan Sinanan said when the Manzanilla Road was destroyed, he said that the moon came too close to the earth and then created, of course, some waves that caused the destruction of the road. Right? Well, of course, in this particular case, this Gonzalez fella, he says, well, listen, rain falling, yes, but it isn't falling which part the reservoir and them are. And therefore, there is a shortage of what? Yeah. He said that, if I tell you. If all of them have this malaise of stupidity, you know what I mean? And buffoonery. I mean, it is so asinine that you shut up. I mean, come on. You have a big man like you. And of course, when Rowley introduced him as the minister, he said he didn't know that burst pipelines and the ferocity of the amount of holes in these pipelines will prevent water from going up a hill. Now, just imagine that. Just imagine that. A minister of public utilities, in this case WASA, will tell you that. And these days, of course, he pretended that he's some kind of expert now, talking about wells being dug, drilled, and so on. And of course, the portable wells that he spoke of coming from Canada, we can't see one, since of course they had the initiation of at least one of them, some part of the country. And of course, don't forget 2 salination plants. Remember that one? One for where? Moruga, and one for Tobago. I wonder why Tobago. They know they lost Tobago now, so they're trying to, of course, hoodwink Tobago. But of course, none of that, and God face they would see. Well, let's go to that particular article. WASA, Regulated Industries Commission, decides utility rates. Obviously, they're making the argument that is not them. White, of course, Dr. Rowley and Imbert. We were the first. Andy, you remember when Rowley went up as one of his first missions in 2015, having become Prime Minister in Laventille. He said, "We know of the government," and then simultaneously, Imbert told us that we have to review the water rate and we have to review electricity rate and so on. He told us that back in 2015. Today, it is now a manifestation. All right, so we know how dissembling they can be, how deceptive they can be. The Water and Sewage Authority has replied to former Minister Mariano Brown, saying that the issue of rates increasing is determined under the Regulated Industries Commission, the formalization thing, Act Chapter 5473, and not pegged to property prices and rates. In a statement on September 11th, WASA aimed to correct Brown's statement. Brown, who spoke on TV6's morning edition on September 10th, said utility rates are pegged to property prices and rates. So I think that utility rates, certainly in the case of WASA, rates are going to go up whether we like it or not. So of course he's pegging it to the current property tax payments and so on that is now fully implemented. WASA said in the statement, the RIC has the mandate under its act to establish the principles and methodologies by which services or service providers determine rates of services with which WASA is obligated to comply. So the building one time, so these providers will of course suggest, and then the RIC will then make these what I consider to be bogus consultation and say they consult and so on, and then eventually the rates will increase. Any link made to an increase in WASA and sewage rates being pegged to the current adjustments to property tax has no basis, as the authority cannot operate to impose increased rates and charges outside of the process under the RIC Act. That's a similar statement, they get a little kink in the man armor and they decide, of course, to pounce on it. It's stereotypical of them. We saw when, of course, David Lee said that they were maintaining train 1, that nitrogen plant. It's of no use. The upstreamer said that we will not be providing any gas, but they allocated through NGC $600 million for the maintenance thereof. Well, the big defense is that no, it wasn't 600 million, it was 200 million. It was 200 million, and therefore Lee should not be saying it's 600 million. Whether it's a blasted cent or 200 million is irrelevant. The fact is that the plant was mothballed just as the Petrotrain oil refinery, and therefore no money should have been spent there. None at all. And that is the issue. You bunch of morons. Andy, any more issues you want to raise? Because I am getting angry here. My irascibility, I don't think could be contained further. But if you want me to continue, certainly I will. Yes, indeed.
Let's open the lines.
Yes. But of course, I cannot. Yeah.
Open the lines.
Right. I cannot. I will not conclude here without, of course, asking for some assistance for young this young boy from Heinz's constituency. Yes, I called Heinz on the corridor transformation. He has not answered. Trying to get Donna Cox's number. That is like pulling teeth. But I will pursue it again today. Of course, young Joseph Sandy, 15-year-old, attending or was attending the Mova Laventil Secondary School from Chumakak, so it's almost the eastern third of the constituency of Laventil West, which is of course, unfortunately, the MP for that constituency is Fitzgerald's Lazy Hind. Some say he is narcoleptic, meaning that he's a sleepy-headed fella. But Joseph Sandy is still, since Friday, he is still, of course, at the funeral home, and the parents have not gotten monies for his funeral as yet. And of course, I am hoping, I'll send the number for you. I'm hoping to contact the father this morning, Mr. Mark Sandy. He has agreed to speak on the matter, having been blanked by, of course, the Ministry of Social Development. So I really want people to understand the priorities of this administration, and the mere fact that Heinz has refused to respond at all indicates. Of course, Mr. Sandy told me they did, of course, make some overture to Heinz's office and his secretary, I believe, rather than Heinz himself, were paying some attention, but they were greeted with the sad news that, of course, they have to wait for process, and there is a certain criteria, and because they may not fit the criteria, they will not get that. But the child is, of course, languishing, a dead body in some funeral home, some part of the country. That is what we have purporting to be government and governance, and then they want us to feel. They want us to feel sympathy for them. Not at all. Since Friday, so that means this week would be what, a second week or thereabout, a full week, whatever it is. The fact is that the body has been there for too long, and the parents are wearing. And of course, with every day that passes, and the child is not buried, clearly the trauma, and all of us must cry shame on the Ministry of Social Development of its insensitivity, having regard, of course, to this particular circumstance. So I will WhatsApp you the number, Andy. I told him that we'd call him around 7:30 thereabout. So I look forward to that, and I would appreciate if you call him so that we can get an appreciation as to what has been his experience, having regard to the circumstances that his son, who is now dead, has found himself. It's nothing about gang. He had some congenital.
When we call him, Smith, when we call him on 7:30, my brother.
Yeah. All right. So I'll send it to you now.
Andy Williams and LENNOX Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh boy, send your voice notes, Get ready to make your calls. Today's Friday. What's on your front burner, Trinidad and Tobago?
Oh, Andy again, I forget. I talk about sanitary city. I can't pronounce the word. Right, I can go anyhow, the city. But Trinidad is one of that. Trinidad is a whole island, sanitary island, or whatever. They only have a set of a Venezuelan come in. So what he talk about, they taking the people now, putting them and making a city. I mean, Trinidad is a whole island like that, my friend. We have that in Trinidad, plenty. The whole island is that. So brother, man, why you drive my blood into my brain? I'm going to tell you something. I hate Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump is going to cause a civil war in this country, and that's my problem. It's not only man, it's just I don't like the man. The man will cause a civil war, and then people will be like Syria, we won't know where to go. But I have a place to go. I have a house and land in Trinidad. I don't know, you have one. So we need to get rid of all this so I can come and live in Trinidad happy. Right? I know where you're going to go and live. So stop talking about complain America. If you don't like America, go back. It's the same thing you tell a white man you don't like America, he'll tell you go back. Go where you come from. Use the force when you go on. Oh, you are an idiot. Late.
And I sent the number for you and the name of the person.
All right.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning to all the listeners. This is Joel Prasad. Andy, I want to talk about a ticklish subject this morning. My phone burner is, listen, the people who are standing by and saying that the UNC leader is doing this and doing that, and they're like she and this and the other. Listen now, people. I want you all to wake up. Wake up and smell the coffee for what it is. You all don't see the deterioration of this country. Everything is in shambles, right? And this man, King Kakahol, the dictator, he doesn't care to hoot about what you all say and what you all do, right? He is king, right? We cannot get to him, right? Anything we say, it doesn't matter to him. He has his priorities where he makes his dollars, and that is what he's heading, and he don't really care about you all. So the thing about it is that we have to unite together, right? Um, Under the banner of the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Whatever you all think of her, put it aside. Let's get united and form a force that could defeat the King Kakao and the PNM. That is our goal. That is what we're supposed to do. Listen, you all keep on backbiting and like crab in barrel syndrome, right? An election will come and PNM will win again, and we're going to be in the same khaki pants, and all you're going to be complaining more. What are you complaining about the leader of the opposition? Her goals is to win the election, and if we support her, she will. So let's forget all the bickering and the crab in barrel syndrome and get together and focus to support our leader and the UNC and let's try to defeat the PNM. That is our goal. Our major goal is to defeat the PNM and get rid of this taxing line, evil, devilish government. And this short man, I don't know what else when he talks like a long time slave master, What he say goes. And if I don't know if I remember when he was Minister of Works on a different administration, you couldn't ride in this man elevator, His elevator was private for him and him alone. And the man is short. He very short, but he very big on ego and here now man, listen now, this man could probably lend the world back money, if they do a search in that Marval home, it is alleged that if you do a search in that Marval home where he lives, right, you would be surprised to know the amount of money that is there, and it has been proven. It has been proven before. They find a lot of U.S. money in his home and thing, and nothing. Nothing will become of that. Like nothing will become of Camille Robinson. We just and the deposit gate, right? I wonder if he start to go back in Camille wallet, right? And before I go, Camille is a nice lady with good ideas for Mikey K to interview in his program, The Observer. Okay then, blessed morning, Mikey, my brother.
Aye. Boy, you only gave Mikey K a whole set of jagabats. Me understand that at all.
The Ground Report with Mikey K,
Well,
Andy
if he is Mikey's friend, I think he has to review.
Where's that?
He has to. If he is Mikey's friend, and Mikey considered him to be a friend, but he had to review his relationship because I mean those
I don't
those
want to like you
those those
jagabat.
women that he is recommending for Mikey, I can't see that they are friends.
Oh boy. Lord, that man want to put Mikey to die. As he touched down, that is it.
Yeah, because
Them blight, the man want to get Mikey a blighted set of jagabats.
because I mean,
And there we go.
Rowley Hines
Good morning,
and
Andy. Good morning,
others.
folks. You know, Ramsey Moore and Rowley's first cousin for she to give away Panchimego land. I want Tanti Camilla when she win the next term to give back Panchimego the land that Basse Pandey gave them. Okay?
Right, we hear you.
I'm sure that would be a consideration. No doubt.
Yeah, but they had to show that, but they had to show fight too. You know that that is show fight, that is show two man, Pantrin Bigo members had to show fight because if I the government I come in there and them still buffoon and believe well all right, we don't really them ain't saying nothing. Nobody knows then it's when somebody other government going power, that is when Pantrin Bigo all of them go over the
Oh yeah.
So they go ask where they want
but I think they will have something coming because the experience that they would have displayed over the last 9 years and then ultimately 10 years under the PNM. I think Kamala and they would have understood and therefore would be expecting and be prepared for the ruthless and the brutal onslaught that they would be engaged in because they have shown their petticoat and their underwear, as the case may be, and therefore we know who they are. Apart from that, of course, we as a medium will be around. Yes, we will be around as well to, of course, mitigate and to launch our own counterattacks when they come. Let them believe is honky-dory and is business as usual when the UNC comes into office for the PNM to then attempt to sanitize itself and pretend to be, of course, self-righteous indignation. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes.
LENNOX.
Good morning.
Wherever my kids. My teenage neighbor. Andy, you know what I realized with PNM supporters or PNM people, those who support, they cannot believe all the things what taking place in Trinidad. You know? They cannot believe these things really happen. They tell themselves you're fabricating these things. You know? They cannot believe all these things. Although LENNOX trying to explain, you see, LENNOX don't understand something when I talk. LENNOX, these down-to-earth people, these local ground people, they cannot believe these things really happening. They cannot believe. You understand? So
even though they're experiencing it, I ain't telling them that is their experience. Yes, but go ahead.
Because you see, this is what Rowley knows about Trinidad and Tobagonians. He knows that this is how to think. So he is telling, when he speaks, they listen to him. Other than that, anything else going on. None of that true boy. That couldn't be happening. Nah, only lying. This is what's going on right now. I have been around a lot of people on the ground.
Correct.
They can't believe this is really taking place. So in other words, all you make all this thing up, all you lying, so we listen to Rowley, all you lying.
Yeah, look,
that is what going on.
Let me put it in a better way.
Yeah.
Look, let me put it in a better way for everybody to understand. Let me put it in a better way. They saw them, when you say they hear them, man. Look at that. Look what them Indian and them, and look what the UNC go to. Lying on Rowley. They try to make him look bad to lose the election. That is not what's going on.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry, but my argument is very simple. You went to get, let's say, milk today, and then the price almost double tomorrow, and you're going to get the same thing. And you're telling me your experience doesn't tell you that something is wrong in your logic? You're telling me that when...
Yeah. These prices raising for things to get better later on. Rowley say things will get better later on. So all don't mind raising price now. Later on things will be better. All they worried about. You understand? This is what's going on, LENNOX.
Yeah, but you have accepted that it has happened. You're saying that they're saying it's not happening, but it has happened. It has happened, you know. right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
telling us some better days coming ahead with Rowley, so let me take a little pressure now.
Oh, well,
Like what
tell
is
me.
saying,
All
Lennox.
right. Well,
Like
tell
what is
me. No,
saying.
no, no. I would prefer to accept. You'll have to tell me then that yes, it is happening. So they know that it's happening because that is my argument. But of course, the propaganda they would prefer to gravitate to. Then I can understand that. But don't tell me that them believe it ain't happening when in fact it is their experience. Experience is the best teacher.
Lennox, you know. Okay, Lennox, then you know. You know podcast speed. He will ever admit that happening.
If
That
what?
can be real, Lennox. He will ever admit that happening. No, he wouldn't admit it, although he's experiencing it, Lennox.
No, not
He
he.
wouldn't admit it.
Them, not he. You see, that's why we have
But he
a
knows.
variance. The people themselves I'm talking about, the sycophants and they are experiencing it.
Stop engaging. Go ahead, caller, and you finish your contribution. Let me organize and take some more calls. Go ahead.
Little that's what I'm talking about. Talking about the PLM fanatics, the followers.
Okay, yes.
They will never admit it, although they're experiencing it, Lennox.
All right.
If you go in the grocery and they see pressure that they can't buy whatever custom buy for $200, they're saying, oh God, boy, Ronnie Red doing people this one. They wouldn't say anything, they just put back the thing and they walk out. This is what's going on, Carlo.
Right.
Or they take care.
All right, thank you very much.
All right,
I can understand that.
Right, go ahead, next caller.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Hey, Big Ram, good morning to you, my brother. And your wife, good morning. I'm a policeman partner and send no voice note this morning. I know it have plenty Nigel around. Nobody don't know what I'm talking about. But don't forget to send your voice notes by the time. I send your voice notes by the time, but I'm opening the lines for those of you who like to call. The lines are wait. Now let me open the line yet. You know, oh boys, like I talk too quick. Morning caller. Morning caller. All right, let me start for you. Oh, I know going to start for you. You know, I know going to say, well, Andy for Grandy and Grandy for Andy. And we want foreign observers. That is why we want foreign observers in the next general election. Rowley and them is thieves. There's liars. They will thief the election. And we are calling for the Carter Foundation. Aye. Now you can go ahead from there, partner. You can go ahead from there. What's your contribution this morning, my brother?
Because we want the Carter Foundation to come in and to observe the EBC list and review it with them and see all who are eligible to vote in this general election. Because it is plain to see, and the evidence is there, that the EBC had give the PNM led by Rocky Rowley the election. And we see all the tangle web and all who he have at the hem. And this election, Rowley ain't given up and surrender. And we the people, no retreat, no surrender, is forward ever. And now, the United National Congress membership, right? They are quiet, but yet waiting patiently. And don't mind all the narrative what Captain Gary Griffith trying to push. But Philip Alexander, I would like to say this morning to him, sir, right? I applaud you for coming to your senses and knowing what is reality. And the EBC will have the record to show that a third party or small party does not make a difference. And it has nothing like undeciders, because it's just that people vote or people don't vote. And people just follow the leaders and people, members who didn't get selected, and they withhold the vote. But this time around, we have to know, because here what's going on. Haiti don't reach the rock bottom and the lowest it could reach. And people is suffering. They're fleeing to all different neighboring countries. The Venezuelans, they are fleeing and coming here because they have a free passage because of the gas deal. everything is put in this basket called the dragon gas. The Angeline and the Laura Manatee field, they're milking the money out of it, and we're not getting the revenue. Now our country is reached rock bottom financially because they move out most of the money, borrow it out to pay debts. So you see the thief up front, and now the revenue streams is dripping down, dropping slowly. Yeah? But the high prices we get in is saving us. Trinidad and Tobago, just imagine the procurement chairman telling you that $5 billion again is questionable how to give contracts. You're talking about the Auditor General $3 billion, $8 billion. Eh? Then you hear a minister on a program talking that the schools are ready with $5 billion in their ministry. And then you're hearing the National Security Ministry is one of the main player in this shortfall of not reaching the standard of the procurement legislation. India went to parliament and watered it down. You see why? Just imagine fire trucks, firemen get the salary, the PPE, check it across the board. National Security Ministry. Look what they do with the Coast Guard. They demolish it. You're telling me national security, that is our main concern, the security of our country. And this is what we get in from this PNM government. Right? And I just want to ask them, I don't take my punching and note this morning in the rising sun. But you know, use the instructor that's used to check Rowley prostate. And you went up so high up in the K-Pax to check the prostate that you eat the honey weed what you consuming. And you had an understanding to know what is reality and what is fiction. And 9 years of hoodwinking and pulling wool over our head. But they can't understand yet that what is the model. Slavery done over 300 years, and you still trying to keep the black brothers and sisters enslaved. That is sad. It is sad. The US dollars, when they get it and the businessman buy, because we don't get foreign exchange. We don't manufacture and export to offset it because certain people only exporting and we, not the small man. The agriculture sectors what could be more robust. Look at it. But Andy, I know you have to go to a phone call just now by 7:30 and they don't close it. So I'll close here and Trinidad and Tobago, let's unite and show the love and have we head on. And all activists, street captains, come to the office in the area and start working. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Morning caller.
Yes, and good morning to the wonderful people of the East-West Corridor and Trinidad and Tobago. This is Curtis in the house. Yes, and good morning.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Yes, good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, it has some people that talk to himself. But sometimes I just say, boy, watch now. Some people might come out with unrelated facts, saying it's facts, but it's not facts. But anyway, let us debunk some of these facts. The so-called FAX, what Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM have been saying.
But make it short and sweet. You're trying to make it short and sweet. We have an interview to go for 7:30. Go ahead.
In 2010, 2015, the people didn't just see the development. The people were a part of the development. They were a part of the development because of the humane policies that Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, a leader, a woman who cares, a woman who saw the little children walking with heavy bags on their backs and said, hey, let me give them laptops. A woman who opened the Cuba Hospital, who who made sure that commissioned a Cuba hospital so that the children and the parents who didn't have the little pittance and had to make chichiri to make a barbecue or a curricue to send the children to abroad could have all these wonderful surgeries, important surgeries here. And the PNM destroyed that. The PNM took away every single thing. But the writing on the wall, you know, the writing on the wall, Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM from since 1956 leading up to this day, they will take them 1,000,000,000,000 years to even try to attempt to do what Mrs. Kamala Prasad has done for the people of Trinidad and Tobago from 2010 2016. The best Prime Minister in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The best in everything, best in policies, best in meeting and treating and greeting with the common folk on the ground. A woman who took us from a negative into a positive in 2.5 years. And what does Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM have done to Trinidad and Tobago? They crash up. Right now we're running on fumes. Ladies and gentlemen, the writing is on the wall. Open your eyes. Don't be deflected by the unrational old talk from Keith Rowley and the PNM. The writing is on the wall. Put your finger next to the rising sun. Come today, come tomorrow as the election bell call. Put your finger next to the rising sun. And once again, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, talk done, vex, lost. Wrong report. Later.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang.
Oh boy, don't forget to send your voice notes after the interview. I will be playing your voice notes. I'm going to take this last call here quick. Go ahead. Morning. Kunji, COP, go ahead. Come on.
To you, LENNOX Smith. Good morning to you, ITK, and good morning to the listeners of the Ground Reporter. Andy Williams, it is amazing and so heartrending to listen news in Trinidad and Tobago. Andy Williams, the procurement regulator, is telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that in 1 year, from September 2023 to September 2024, they find over 60 misconduct in public office and bad laws in giving out contract. It come up to over $5 billion. This is 1 year, Andy Williams. This is 2023 to 2024. How many other years? What years, Dr. Rowley in office? Over 9 years. $5 billion in bad procurement laws. You see why these people and them was recusing themselves from Parliament, Andy Williams and LENNOX Smith? When you recuse yourself from Parliament, it's because your family members was chosen illegally, misconduct in public office, taking hundreds of millions in contract. Over 16. The next thing, the honorable opposition leader in the Monday night report mentioned $11 billion gone missing from with Treasury, and she explained which part it gone. It had nothing to do with the citizens of Trinidad development. $11 billion. This is why these people and them recusing themselves from Parliament. Because the kind of money they're making, how sad it is to live in a country where the people them who swear oath to represent you with transparency and accountability and ensure your community develop. They're not doing that. They are business people. All of them in the PNM, they are business people and they're dependent on government contracts.
and they're getting government contracts whilst they are MPs. Why is they supposed? Why is they supposed to be helping us, developing us, and giving us the opportunity? Them finding ways to behave in misconduct in public office for them to get the opportunity, and them creating empires. Why is they creating paupers in the country? How that can be fair? And if the opposition said anything wrong over there, how it is none of them want the sushi? Why call him but our Minister of Finance? Why he don't come out of Parliament and speak what he speak about the Auditor General? Come out and say that on a platform now. Do what the opposition do leader doing. Speak correctly, but only using Parliament privilege to lie, to mislead the population. Come out and say them things, and then we will believe you. But it's sad to know why is it? Children don't have books to go to school. I listen to 91.9 and Dale program. They're helping a young guy, which is good. But they mentioned on radio, the children that living over there don't even have female, 11-year-old girl don't even have female utilities. And that is what happening in this country. Mothers and fathers struggling, can't buy pads for the daughters and them to go to school. Principle of the children leaking. And the responsibility of the government, they wouldn't put them things to assess the future of this country. But look at how much misconduct in public office and MPs becoming multi-millionaires, building business and apartments all over Trinidad and Tobago. When you see a development going on, you tell us that AGC development, no, that is not AGC. That is one of the ministers and them owner. How that could be fair? How that could be fair? You mothers and fathers of the People's National Movement and grandmothers and grandfathers, how that could be fair? How you want to chastise a lady for raising your pension $3,500 and you could be ungrateful to she and say she's the wrong person, but support somebody who gives you nothing? Why is Dr. Rowley is the head of National Security Council? We have the most gruesome crime in this country, and he is the head of National Security Council, and we have the most heinous crime, some of the most gruesome crime, with people in this country chopping up people, shooting out people's head, chopping up babies, killing babies. And Dr. Rowley and his family eat comfortable. Dr. Rowley and his ministers eat and sleep comfortable. And we should accept that and say that they're representing us. That is the party supporter. Foolish people think that way. Think that way. The set of people that Eric Williams in Trinidad and Tobago to be paying them until they're dead.
Hello? Oh boy. You get caught there, boy.
I have 2 tickets to give away to the Social Workers for Christ Gospel for Charity concert in aid of a halfway facility that they want to update in the Point area. It is the concert is to be held at the Levi Duncan Convention Center. That is in Edinburgh Village, Shogunas, number 100, of course, Old Southern Main Road. So that's right in Shogunas proper. It's Saturday, yes, on the 14th. from 6 o'clock to 9 p.m., 6 in the evening to 9. Of course, people like the Blessed Messenger, Fahrenheit, I understand they are well known in the gospel fraternity, Samantha Johnson and Mark Isaac, as well as Sean Daniel, all of them, and of course, I understand Pastor Terence Boynes, he will be Master of Ceremony. So quite a very talented cast, and of course, it is a public servant who bought two tickets and asked me to give it to anybody who is interested. So, you Christians out there who want to get a night of gospel music, an evening of gospel music to your delight, well, of course, the ticket is yours. I'm just going to have a very simple question, or no, I don't think I will have a question. Just call in and say that you're interested, and we'll make arrangements for me to get it to you. Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Caller, go ahead. Morning to you.
Good morning, as we continue.
Oh boy. Good morning, caller. A pleasant good morning to you. Welcome to the Ground Report. Go ahead, caller. Oh boy.
You'll go to that interview now?
At organizing the get on.
All right.
So meanwhile, I'm just trying to organize and play out some of these things while I'm trying
All
to
right,
get
all right. In the meantime, of course, as I said, those of you, anybody who wants to get.
Play voice notes by the time now, because it's
No, well, go ahead. I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have dead air.
Nah, no dead air. Wait, no dead air. Wait, a real voice notes just to play off there quick.
All right, okay. Well, you're taking long to put your gadget together, man.
This shameless, desperate opposition leader, the drunken bat from Siparia, have no shame and desperate as she could reach to the stage of talking and telling people that doctors and nurses were giving people fake vaccination during the COVID. Miss Lady, you have any idea what you are doing to the professionals in the healthcare? Ask Tim Gopi Singh, ask Ian Allen, two of your cronies of their experience in the hospital during the COVID. Ask Jack Warner, all of them who praise the hospital system, but you desperate. You calling and talking about fake vaccine? Shameless on you. My boy, when you drink a beer rum, take your time now. Take your time. Now settle, write down what you want to say, and come and say now. Because as I say, you're all over the place and you're not making any sense. It's either you're brutish, you're dense, or you're delirious. Huh? To be a combination of all three. You blasted idiots. Yeah, that was right down. This caller know what you're talking about? Caller, are you aware that there is the Mount Hope Children Pediatric Hospital? So there was no need for the Cuba Hospital repairing, rebuilding the central block in Port of Spain Hospital was more important, but no, the rich didn't see that. All the rich was studying is to thief money. That's all the rich was studying, right? So all just want to talk, and all was strongly beaten in 2015, strongly beaten in 2020, and will be beaten again in 2025. Great is the PNN, and will continue to beat the Dons in any election. And I know just now the old frustrated posse, Central and Woodbrook and Santa Cruz, all of them coming just now are waiting for all your bunch of disoriented, illiterate gauchos.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to first start by commending you all on doing a good job with this program, trying to open the eyes of the people. Right, I have a little analogy here that I believe will kind of explain and summarize everything that's happening in this country. Right, so this country is like a water tank, like an aquarium, I mean. And you have fishes swimming at different levels of the aquarium. Right, so you have the fish at the top of the aquarium, you have the fishes in the middle of the aquarium, and you have fishes at the bottom of the aquarium. When the poison hit the tank, the first people, the first fishes to detect the problem is the people at the top of the tank, the 1%ers, the wealthy. What they begin to do, they begin to look for other tanks to jump in because they're already at the top. It's easy for them to jump out that tank and find another tank, so they begin to invest in foreign property and things like that. That's why all these ministers, if you really look at what they have, all of them are homes away, all of them are foreign assets. Because when the crap hit the fan, they're not smelling the crap, right? They have a different fan to go and to blow on them, right? So that's the first point. So what happening now? The stage we reach right now in Trinidad is that the poison past the upper class, past the 1%, and it's trickling down to the fish in the middle of the tank now. So they're the middle class, they're the average voter, they're like me, middle class, right? We starting to feel that pitch. We realize that 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 things not as good as they used to be. Right? So we now trying to warn the fish at the bottom of the tank. Yeah, what's going on here? Right? We trying to get up to be 1%ers. We trying to get up to that level, but we can't. This poison holding we back. You understand what I'm saying? We need to get this government out of power to move this poison from this water so all that we can swim higher. And nobody will be at the bottom of the tank. But the fish at the bottom of the tank, they don't care. They're comfortable in poverty. Right? When a government come and government go, their life not changing because they're not doing anything with their lives. They're just saying no, crying for government assistance, crying for government handout, and they're not doing anything. So government come, good government come, bad government come, their situation doesn't change. The problem where we heading, I think we reached this fire, is that when the poison hit the bottom of the tank and it started to affect them fish strongly, and they realize that things could actually get worse. By that time, I feel it too late for this country. By that time, we in boat sailing to Miami and all kind of thing, and like me might be going Venezuela, right, or going Guyana. We could be on boat to Guyana by the time the problem reached there. So people are trying that we go, please wake up. Please try to understand what is happening to this country, right? The rich getting richer and they're looking for new tanks to swim in, right? And the middle class, we can't get rich. We can't reach that level anymore, right? With the economy in shambles.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Thank you very much, new caller, for your contribution, and to all new callers, all new viewers to the Ground Report program on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, Corridor Transformation on YouTube, Love Laventy, Workers' Right Platform. Many of you now come across because of the observers. A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to the Ground Report.
Bang, bang.
It's a good morning to the Ground Report, the listeners, Andy, and again, Lennox. It's just what has been. Try and get a light. Okay? Get a light and stop disrespecting these ladies and the Gen Z leader. Because if you have nothing to talk about, shut your mouth and get off the station.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to the ground report and all the hosts there. This is Mamaral number 2 calling again. Now, pertaining to WASA and the citizens, let me explain something, right? Every 3 months, you just get a bill for your WASA water, right? And basically, that's 90 days. So every 90 days, you get a bill. Now, depending on where you live in Trinidad, it varies, right?